All right, welcome back, fellow entrepreneurs. The end of another month, and we are back. Actually, I'm going to change this to a nice orange as we are entering the end of October and the start of November. We have another month of a bunch of changes. Every month on this channel, I do a update video on all the new changes, improvements, and new features coming to the platform so we can all grow our businesses together. We can stay in the loop, we can continuously improve and learn, and we can maintain our competitive advantage. How's everyone doing? How are your shops doing? How are your stores doing? My stores are going okay. Nothing really crazy happened this month to me, except my Facebook and Instagram channel kind of got disconnected, and I wasn't really sure why for a couple of days. So that took some time. Also, you know how Shopify kind of reviews stores constantly? They needed me to resubmit some verification documents for Shopify payments. You know how it is. If you've been following me or you have a Shopify store, you know how all this stuff goes. But how are your stores? Are your stores going okay? Everything good? Fantastic. If you want to watch the month in review for September, you can click the card at the top right screen here, and then you'll be all caught up as we enter November and say goodbye to October. So briefly looking over some things here, it's okay month. There's actually quite a few updates, improvements. There's a lot of detail here. There's a lot of stuff for POS. There's a lot of stuff for Shopify payments, checkout, little features, improvements. So it's got a little bit of everything for everyone. So let's jump into it. So the first thing here, a massive deal. We always like to see the new feature tag on the Shopify changelog. A new feature, and that is one-page checkout is now the default Shopify checkout. If you don't know what one-page checkout is, I did a whole video on this. Please click the top right corner to gain all the context behind what that is, how to set it up, and what is going on. A one-page checkout is Shopify's redesigned out-of-the-box checkout. It updates the current three-page checkout with a design that's shorter, faster, smarter, and more intuitive. So essentially, this is a perfect example of Shopify optimizing your online store for you, where they had 3 pages of checkout before, one for product review, one for the payment information, one for the billing address, and then you can check out. Now, they have done a lot of studies and they have extended this into one much longer one-page checkout, as they learned that customers who go through page after page after page increases the abandoned cart rate. And so they've done this optimization for you and are showing you a key concept in e-commerce that you need to constantly improve, update, test, A/B test, and optimize your store in all different kinds of ways. And so what they've done is they've added one-page checkout. That was in early access for most of this year. They were teasing it at the beginning of the year. They were talking about it at Summer 23 Editions. You can watch my entire Summer 23 Editions playlist here. But now it is finally fully rolled out, I believe, to every merchant. And if you're wondering why your checkout might look a little bit different, that is why. I'm pretty sure you can't go back. I don't know if you'd want to, but if you were wondering why my checkout looks different and can I revert back, I don't think that is the case, as this has been optimized to increase your conversion. Moving right along, this one, I think the dates got mixed up here because at the end of my last September video, I talked about this very briefly and now we see it again, but essentially this is just previewing your gift cards before you're sending in email and SMS so that you have full control of what you're sending and what you're doing and the value you're sending. Just a tiny little improvement there. This, though, is a very interesting little improvement. Not a new feature like these ones, but a good improvement. This is for your sales discounts. So, in your discounts bar, there are a bunch of different discounts that you can offer your customers and customize. So there's been a update to specifically the buy X, get Y discount. So it says we've launched a new feature that allows you to set a fixed amount discount for the buy X, get Y discount type, such as buy 2 items, get $20 off. So you see what they're doing here. So before, if you have buy 1 product, get second product free. Buy 1 product, get second product off. Buy 1 product, get another product. Now they've added a small improvement so that you can now buy your X variable, whatever that is. In this case, in this example, it is buy 2 items and you can get $20 off of your whole purchase by using the buy X, get Y discount to allow a fixed amount discount at checkout, as opposed to getting another item, as opposed to getting a sale, promotion, percentage off. You can now add a fixed amount. That's very good. I like this. This is a small improvement that it's like, why wasn't that before? Why wasn't that there? Why wasn't that there before? And now we have it. Any little improvements like this always gets my mind and my brainstorming mind kind of going, because you start to think of all the different marketing ideas that you can do with your store. And if you've done a lot of marketing in the past and you've kind of run out of ideas, they add a little improvement like this, and then it really gets the brain rolling on some new marketing ideas. So that's a fun little improvement there that I look forward to implementing in my store. So as we can see here is on October 11th, we have some new features. These are for POS. So we love seeing the new feature, and Shopify is always constantly improving the POS. So we do see a lot of these new tags in POS, but this update here on the 11th says a new stocky transfer extension for the smart grid, view and receive inventory in your POS. So this is basically saying the smart grid is when you have a POS, say iPad, for example, and you use the Shopify app. It kind of looks something like this, and there's a bunch of things into what is called like a smart grid. And so what they're saying is now with the new stocky transfer, stocky is a Shopify made and developed app for inventory transfers, especially for POS. So what they've did is they added a new feature to the stocky app for POS where you can see, view, and receive inventory transfers right on the POS instead of going to your admin and clicking stocky and clicking POS and doing that from there and clicking products, increasing inventory. You can see all that from the smart grid in your POS, and a bunch of your staff could also see that as well to help optimize the time management in your POS with your inventory transfers. On October 11th, we had another one here for the POS. The POS terminal, all new payment device for Shopify POS, accept, tap, chip, and swipe at the counter with solid connectivity with a buyer-facing display. So obviously, it's Black Friday, Cyber Monday coming up. It's the holiday season coming up. If you want to learn why this is the best time of year from a more analytical approach and from my experience, you can click this video here. But Shopify is clearly trying to optimize as much as they can, especially with POS. And so the POS terminal is a device that POS sells from their hardware store, that if you're doing a in-person store, the POS terminal is a device that's not just like a small little box that you can tap your card here. The POS terminal is one where it's much larger and it has a big screen for your customers, and it can accept tips, and they can press buttons and enter their PIN, and they can swipe their card on the left. So it's one of their bigger hardware pieces. And so with this update, they're saying for Canada and the United States, you can now have the POS terminal, which is especially important for Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and the holiday season, which we are in right now. We have a little minor update here for Shopify Flow. Shopify Flow is an app that helps you automate a lot of tasks. So if you've ever seen it, it's kind of like if customer bought item, wait 3 days, send email marketing here. If customer opens, wait 3 days and send another one. If customer doesn't open, send another one in 1 day. This is kind of what the Flow does, and there's a lot of different applications. So this is always constantly being updated because there are triggers, actions, and a bunch of things that you can install in the Shopify Flow. So usually what they do is they just add new triggers, they add new actions, and in this case, it's a new trigger, a new subscription, and delete task trigger for Shopify Flow. So it's not really something that you really need as a beginner, but as you continually to optimize, grow your business, it's something that you can look into to automate a lot of your processes. On October 16th, we have a little update here. It's been changed, not improvement. It's not a new feature, but it's been changed in the shop channel. So Shop Pay now redirects to the post-purchase page on merchants' domains. So to ensure conversion events are fired and tracked correctly, Shop Pay will now ensure the post-purchase page is presented on the merchant's domain instead of the Shop app. So what is happening here is that when a person buys with Shop Pay, it used to redirect the merchant instead of your post-purchase page on your website. It used to redirect the merchant to the Shop app, your marketplace on the Shop app. If you want to know what the Shop app is, I did a whole video on that. Essentially, it's just a marketplace in the most basic terms, but it's a huge opportunity that requires some eligibility. But if you want to look into the Shop app, I describe in more detail in this card here. And so it looks like what they have learned is that pixels and tracking and analytics weren't being accurately recorded because the post page for customers was being redirected to the Shop app instead of the merchant's domain. So now they are redirecting to the merchant's domain to ensure that these things and the pixels are tracking correctly. Just a little minor change there if you're using the Shop app. So moving right along, on October 18th, we have this small update that is talking about changes to customer data collection update. This is for changes for stores in the EEA, which is the European Economic Area, and the UK for customer data. So this is obviously very specific to European merchants and UK merchants, where customer data and collection is very different. If you're, for example, like me in North America, there's an app that you can use to collect, to inform customers how data is collected on your store. And it comes in the form of a banner at the bottom of your page like this. And it's just about accepting and rejecting cookies and telling how people, how data is collected from the customer. So what they are saying now is that if you are on partial collection, you will now be collecting data after this banner. And there's not really going to be any more partial customer collection, it's going to be either collected before or after this banner. I'm not a super pro on this because I'm in North America and all my stores are in North America, so I never have to worry about this. But if you are in Europe or you are in UK, maybe just take a look at the changes when it comes to the customer collection update and that privacy app that you use that updates that banner for you. Moving right along, October 19th, we have a super small update here that is talking about, again, the POS login and permissions. So it says reducing permissions required for initial POS login. So merchants can now grant staff accounts the ability to set up point of sale without needing to assign 20 plus admin permissions. So if you have a Shopify store, you know that there is a staff accounts bar. And if you're the account owner of your store, you can set 1 million permissions by checking or unchecking these checkboxes under their staff name. So all this is saying is that it is optimizing this so that for the initial POS login, where you're using your email to set this up, you don't need to grant the staff 20 plus admin permissions. You can just click one new box here at the top, which will help staff with their initial POS login. Tiny little update there. Moving right along, on October 20th, we have an update to the Translate and Adapt app. This is an app used to translate your content to different markets that you sell in for obviously a bunch of reasons. SEO reasons, customer trust reasons. The customer can now read your store if it's in the correct language. And so the Shopify Translate and Adapt app just automatically translates most of your pages. See, this is the thing. So Shopify Translate and Adapt app is a really good app. It's a very popular app. I use this app all the time. It translates your store to the market, to the local language that the customer is browsing from. It only does this for 2 languages automatically. Then you can manually translate more if you have more than 2 languages needed to be translated. But I find this app myself, like the thing is with this app is it doesn't translate everything, especially if you have different apps installed, like third-party apps. It doesn't seem to translate that as well. So for example, on one of my stores, when you're using the Shopify Translate and Adapt app, you have your banner, you have your logos, your menus here, your drop-down menus stuff, and then you have some information. You have your big banner, you have your buy now, you have your brand information, maybe you have some more information here, then you have your big featured collection, whatever. So the Shopify Translate and Adapt app should automatically be translating all this information. But say you have like a third-party app here that opens like maybe a little chat bot in the corner. Usually it doesn't. I don't think it translates third-party apps. So that's my gripe with Shopify Translate and Adapt app. It's a really good app, but it just every once in a while it's like, why isn't that part translating? And then is that even worth using? But anyway, it's saying introducing new search capabilities within the Shopify Translate and Adapt app. The Translate and Adapt app now supports global search across all languages. So it says the Translate and Adapt app now supports global search across all languages for store resources. App users will benefit from an improved navigation experience that makes it easier to quickly find resources for translating. So I guess it's saying if you need to find something on your page to translate, they are updating that a little bit with global search. But this is very vague and I can't really find any more information on this, so it's hard for me to understand what it's saying. But look for a new update, maybe to the UI, and introducing a global search for all your languages on your store with the Shopify Translate and Adapt app. Moving right along again, October 20th, the checkouts will enforce local currency based on shipping address. So we have a little change when it comes to selling in multiple markets. So if you sell in local currency and have access to one-page checkout, everyone has access to one-page checkout now. Customers will check out in the currency that you've set for the country of their shipping address. So what this is saying is that the customer will get charged at checkout with the currency that you set based on their shipping address, based on your market that you set. So somebody is in one country and they've selected a certain currency, but then they go to the checkout page and they set their shipping address, the address that they want their thing to be shipped to, and that differs from the currency that they selected. This will then default and include conversion rates to the currency that you set in the market. October 20th, we have a little update here for GeoIP. We don't have to worry about this because GeoIP is a plus plan feature. Plus plan, Shopify Plus plan, is Shopify's biggest and baddest plan. It is used for the biggest merchants that they have, like Staples and Gymshark and Kylie's Cosmetics and all that stuff. So that's who uses plus plans. And if you're not on a plus plan, you don't have to worry about this. We're just going to go ahead and skip that. October 23rd, we have another improvement for Shopify Flow. Remember we were talking about Shopify Flow earlier. So this is introducing a new, not really action, but a new way to publish and hide products if you have multiple sales channels. Sales channels include like your online store, your point of sale, maybe selling on TikTok and Instagram. Those are different sales channels. And so what they are saying here is they have added a little feature so that you can now publish product or hide product actions within different sales channels. So before, the flow had it set up so that you couldn't specify if you wanted to publish or hide products for specific channels. It looks like it would just do it all in one grouping. Now you can add little adjustments so that you hide a product from maybe a POS, but you sell it online on your online store. So just a little change for the Shopify flow there. Man, I gotta say, right before I made this video, I was making some food and I burnt the side of my thumb on the pan and it is just bugging me. I don't know what to do with this. Should I put ice on it? Should I just leave it? It just is burning and hurting. Who knows what to do with these things? But moving right along, we have a small update again to the POS checkout. So this is very simple. If you have a POS system and someone checks out, they have added a shipping line that will say retail, no shipping required. Because before, if you had a POS order, there would be no shipping line at checkout. And now there is going to be a shipping line, just like you see in your online store where it specifies the shipping. It will say shipping, no shipping required because it is retail. So this will now display as a shipping method for POS orders. This may impact third-party integrations if you're using some and require possible action if you're using something. Like a third-party app for shipping and fulfillment. Another POS update, October 26th. Usually we don't have this many POS updates, but this month we have a ton. So small little change here. If you have a POS store and you select the payment option as a split or a partial payment, I've done this before, it will now appear as partially paid on your admin. And then that could also have issues if you're using a third-party app or some sort of integration for fulfillment. Because on the POS system, there's a way you can edit, not just on the POS system, but on the admin, you can edit payment types. And we had a situation once back in the day where we wanted the sale to go through and be recorded on our POS system, but we wanted to have it partially paid, and then the rest of the payment would actually come from WhatsApp. And so that was back in the day when the POS wasn't super integrated, and I wonder how that would work out today. But essentially what it's saying is that if you have a split payment or a partial payment, now your orders will say partially paid and will update to paid once it is paid in the database and your admin and your order screen on the POS. And then that could affect if you're using any third-party integrations. To check that out, we have a new update coming to Markets Pro. Now, this involves shipping label price adjustments. And if you buy shipping labels from Shopify, you'll understand what a shipping label price adjustment is. But keep in mind that Markets Pro is only available in the United States. And what Markets Pro is essentially when you're selling to multiple markets, there are a ton of local laws, taxes, duties, shipping implications, products, taxes, CODs, customs, and all that stuff for every single different market, every single different country you send to. So Markets Pro is a way and a service that Shopify offers, again, only to US merchants right now, that takes care of all of these little things for you. It just does it for you, takes care of all those things. Kind of like Shopify Tax. If you ever use Shopify Tax, there's a lot of different tax implications for the state, the county, province, the city, the country you're in. So if you use Shopify Tax, it kind of takes care of a lot of stuff for you. That's kind of what Markets Pro does. So this update on the 28th is saying that shipping label price adjustments is now going to be seen on Markets Pro. Merchants will begin seeing Markets Pro shipping label price adjustments in their October 22nd payout. So a shipping label price adjustment is if you put in the size of your package and the weight of your package, and then you print your shipping label with Shopify shipping, for example, and maybe it's a UPS or USPS, and then you send the package off and it is determined that your weight or your size or anything is higher or maybe even lower than what you inputted here. A shipping label price adjustment is included in your payouts to deduct more postage or even credit back some postage in some instances. This is very standard, they're very on this, like UPS, Canada Post, USPS, DHL. They know these calculations and the volumetric weight that comes to shipping these packages so well that the amount of times that packages change hands and the labels that get scanned along the way, like pass to one person, scan, pass to one person. All this stuff is tracked and you can't really get away from trying to trick the system into a lower or higher weight or a lower or higher package. So it's not even worth thinking about. So if your shipping label is a different price, you'll see a shipping label price adjustment now coming to Markets Pro, just like you usually do if you use Shopify shipping. October 30th, another POS new update. We love seeing the new yellow tags, but if they're all for POS, then it gets a little overwhelming. So this is just a tiny little update that says the new POS UI extension activation is now available in admin. Remotely manage POS UI extensions across locations in admin. So what this is saying is that there's going to be a new tab in the POS called extensions. And this is where you can access third-party apps from your smart grid on your POS, and you can hide or show your third-party extensions to not mess up your smart grid the way you set it up. You can just have the extensions and all your third-party apps in one little area coming to your POS. Ooh, this is a new little fun feature here. We're almost at the end of the month, but it says Shopify Payments now supports multiple payment captures for the same order. Your customers expect you to capture payment when you fulfill items in an order. Now you can. So this is interesting. This is saying if you have, for example, in your checkout, you have multiple items that are coming from multiple warehouses and are fulfilled at multiple times, they aren't charged collectively for this one order at checkout, but they are charged at different times when these are fulfilled. So maybe these two are fulfilled together and you'll be charged. This one is fulfilled and you'll be charged. This is important for fulfillment, but this is also important for accounting, or if a customer expects that the order is going to be ordered now, but is going to pay for it later, maybe months down the line, that's when they're going to be charged. So this is a very interesting new feature. This is already available on Plus, but it looks like it might be coming to normal Shopify payments. October 31st, we're almost at the end of the month, and I'm getting kind of sick of this orange. Thank goodness it's November, and thank gosh we're at the end of our changelog almost here. But we have another update here for the POS that says the send cart for POS feature is now attributed to the POS channel. So the send cart feature is if you have an in-person store and you're talking to a customer and the customer might have to leave somewhere, what you could do is you can send the cart to them via an email, and then they can use that email to pick off right where they left off, go to your online store and complete the purchase. But it looks like before, when they did this, this wasn't counting toward the POS channel. And this was throwing off analytics, and it counted mainly towards the online sales channel. So now it looks like the sales closed using the send cart feature, emailing it to a customer when they leave, are now attributed to the POS channel. That's fun. Another little improvement here coming to the POS is that if you run a POS store and somebody is returning an item in person for your POS, you now are going to have a list of return items, static list during a return. That wasn't there before. Small little change there. The last change of October is an updated version coming to Hydrogen. Hydrogen is something you don't really have to worry about if you're running an e-commerce store, Shopify store on the basic, the Shopify or the advanced plan. Hydrogen is a new kind of way of making a website completely different than the way e-commerce is done now, that has kind of like a header and a menu and some drop-down menus and product, just the standard layout that you see everywhere. If you ever saw, a good example of this is if you ever looked at Drake's store, Drake, the rapper, and Shopify did a collaboration where they built a store, an e-commerce store using Hydrogen, where the store didn't look like this. The store was on a web screen like this, and it was basically a tour of Drake's mansion. And if you went room to room, like you went out in the backyard and there was a big pool party, you could click on maybe the little floaty in the pool, or you can click on the chair, or you can click on anything, and then you could buy those Drake branded products. So it's just a new way of doing e-commerce that they're running. I honestly don't know much more about Hydrogen than that, other than the collaboration they did with Drake, but not really anything to worry about there for your online store. And that's it. We're at the end. November 1st, we have another POS update, which is just an improvement for the pins. If you type in your pin incorrectly 5 times, you can wait 30 seconds, and then there's going to be new warnings if your pin is too easy to guess and that sort of thing. But that is it. We have a lot of POS things this month. Sorry to hear if you don't have a POS. I currently don't have a POS, but I've had POS store pop-ups before in some of my stores because, if you run an e-commerce store, sometimes it can get kind of lonely just working on your computer all the time. So sometimes it's kind of fun meeting people with a little POS. You can buy a little POS device from the Shopify hardware store and then go set up a pop-up somewhere and sell your goods. It's kind of a fun old school way of doing things, especially if you run completely online. But that's the end. That's the end of all the updates coming to the platform. I'd say there's a little lacking, this month. A couple of things with Shopify payments and things at the end that kind of saved what I mean. A huge bunch of updates coming this month is just for POS. Of course, we have the discount, which was huge, and then the preview, and then obviously they're still talking about the one-page checkout, which is a huge update that can't be overlooked. That happened at the beginning of the month. And then the most is kind of just POS. So now you're all caught up on the latest and greatest updates coming to the Shopify channel for October. You can go out and keep doing amazing things. My thumb is killing me. Like I said, I burnt it on the pan earlier, so I have to go take care of this. But if you like this video and you learned something and you want to join a community of like-minded entrepreneurs to take the loneliness out of e-commerce that I understand, I understand. Like I run multiple Shopify stores, been doing it a long time, and there's a lot of times you're just working on your computer by yourself, and that can be kind of lonely if you don't have a team with you. So take the loneliness out of it, join the community of like-minded entrepreneurs. We can all grow our businesses together. If you do, hit subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.